Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are about to experience a very exciting September, and I'm also going to say October as well, because there's going to be a lot of changes in the market that you all need to pay close attention to. But before we do that, let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that of course is the $1 price prediction that seems to be circulating in the community, or at least, from what people are telling me after my last price update that I gave out yesterday. Now, I gave out 2 price targets. If you missed those updates, it means you're not subscribed to the channel. Make sure you subscribe right now so you do not miss out on another epic Zebec price update. But after I gave out those targets, people said to me, actually, from what I'm seeing, we can hit $1. Now, of course, this is just feelings based, because even somebody that's optimistic and is doing all the fundamental research, doing the technicals, not even they would come to that conclusion, because they understand that that would essentially take Zebec from a $337 million market cap to over an $80 billion market cap, right? So it doesn't really matter how optimistic you are. If you're looking at the data, you would understand that it is very unlikely, right? Almost impossible. I'm not going to say impossible, because this is crypto land where anything can happen, but it is a very unlikely, right? You're better off buying a lottery ticket, right? That's how unlikely that event is to occur, right? And I want to make it clear in the community, as Zebec holders, people that are in this community for the long term, like I'm planning to hold, to be in this project for the next, at least 2 to 4 years, right? Me personally, because I do see this as being the next XRP, the next Hedera, right? The next XLM. I do think this project has that potential, but at the same time, we do have to take this step by step. And in fact, before I continue, please understand I am not a financial advisor. Nothing that you see in this video is financially advised. So always make sure to do your own independent research. Now that we got that out of the way, let's be clear. Even if we were going to be super bullish, right? And as I said, for those of you that missed my last update last week, I did say we will likely see Zebec pump first, right? I'm expecting 2 good months for Zebec in the short term. So even if Zebec does go up, let's just say Zebec achieves a 6x or a 10x, I still believe we're going to see a market sell-off. And if that market sell-off happens, then we will see price pull back before the end of the month, right? So for those of you that are bullish on Zebec, that's fine, but understand we will see pullbacks in the market, just as we've seen time and time again. So for example, those that bought Zebec in April, absolutely fantastic run. As you all know, this was over almost a 9x, right? A 9x gain. But what happened in June, right? After that major pump that we saw that started in April. In June, we saw price pull back, right? That was a deep pullback, right? Deep pullback of 66%. And as you can see, although prices bounced back, we pretty much ranged since June, right? So this is where price action just moves sideways, right? So everybody that's waiting for Zebec to pump, that have been buying from these lows, might be frustrated at the moment, but you can see here, even with a almost 9x pump, the market still pulls back. And I think the same thing is going to happen again. We will likely see the market pump, a big pump, right? If you're that bullish, but we're likely to see price pull back. And this is what I'm preparing myself for, our members for. Again, if you're not a part of our free Telegram community, you can click the link in my description and join my free Telegram group right this second. This is where we do deep analysis, and I actually gave out some rough ideas of what to expect over the next few weeks, and I will be posting an update there shortly as well. So join my free Telegram group, the link is in my description. But the point is here, a $1 price prediction is unrealistic. Even if we say a 10x or even a 20x, I think we will still see price pull back to those targets that I mentioned. Now, one of the targets that I mentioned in my previous video, again, just to be clear, I do believe we could see an aggressive upside move, but I think we can close September either around 0.0006934, right? You see I've got the X there, and I do think I've even got a very bullish case scenario. So let's just say we do see a very, very aggressive pump, right? Remember, we have the Fed interest rate decision on September, where the Fed, it's highly likely that they'll cut interest rates whenever this happens. Stocks and other commodities, assets typically move to the upside. So even with a bullish scenario like that, I do still think we will end up pulling back and pulling down to 0.00112803. So what would I do then? My strategy, and I've made it transparent to all of you, and I'll post this in almost all my Zebec videos, just as a reminder, I want to capture the move to the upside, kind of like this pump here. I want to capture the upside move, then I want to take profit, then I want to buy in at the lows, and I want to repeat the process over and over again. Obviously, this is using the technical skill set. Not everybody can do this, right? It's not one size fits all. If you're not in a community like ours, you're not subscribed, or you're not part of our Telegram channel, then to be honest with you, the best strategy might just be to capture a buy at the lows. Like, for example, if you've got a position in April, wait for price to pump. Once you're happy with profits, maybe you take out your initial capital to reduce risk. Maybe you take, 1x profits. But at the end of the day, I would still ensure that I have a bag left for the long term and obviously benefit from that compound effect over time. It's kind of like the people that had the opportunity to buy Bitcoin at $1, at $100, at $1,000, right? Of course, those that bought maybe bought at $1, rode price up to $100, sold, saw price go all the way back down to $5. The people that bought back in obviously were big winners, but the people that sold and didn't buy back in, yes, they made a very nice percentage gains. But ultimately, looking forward, that Bitcoin that you bought at that time is now worth over 100,000 per coin, right? So I always make it my prerogative to always have at least 10 to 20% of most of the coins that I buy, even when I sell, just in case they become the next Bitcoin, right? So it's the same approach I would have with Zebec, especially for those of you that maybe don't have that technical skill set. Remember, as they say, try not to time the market. You'll make more money with time in the market. So that approach will probably suit the majority of you without obviously being in communities like ours. But for me, this is a long-term project. We'll have to see what happens. Obviously, the price action that we're seeing now may not be the best. This is because, as I stated, we have the Fed interest rate decision in 16 days. So we're going to find out whether we're going to pump into that rate decision or whether we're going to see price stagnate or maybe even sell lower, right? If you want to find out more about that, again, join my free Telegram group. But I will be posting more Zebec updates this week. So make sure you're subscribed. And I want to be clear, if I haven't been clear already, following $1 price predictions in a month, $10 price predictions in 1 month, it makes you feel good. But ultimately, you're not going to make any money and you will end up probably losing money or getting yourself wrecked, right? So let's take things step by step and we'll see what happens. And as I said, it's not impossible, but it's very, very, very unlikely. Guys, stay tuned for my next major Zebec update. Until the next one, seize the day.